We need to. Oh, we are live. Hi,
Yep,
we are
we are
live.
live. Welcome to DevKami number 217. I think this is a prime number. No, this is not a prime number because it's a factor of 7. God damn it. It's 31. So it's two
No,
prime
it's
number though. It's actually a RSA
mm,
pair. If you want to do it, it's a very sucky RSA pair, but yeah. 31 is a prime number, 7 is a prime number. So just now Tristan was showing his creation.
well, not creation. It's prototyping. I'm still prototyping things, making sure
Yeah.
that I actually understand enough of MicroPython to be dangerous. So it's just the baseboard. So this is the MakerPy.
I do not know what happened, man, because I just
Sorry, what?
The voice for Tristan is a bit off.
it looks like he's gone.
Something is
No.
is it sound like something dropped.
Yes, my microphone dropped. I'll have to find it. Sorry. Do you want? I can shout and tell me if I'm closer.
No,
Maybe that
it
works.
sounds the same to me. It's just a
Oh
bit.
no, where did it go? It's a small mic. Anyway, I'll continue
Oh,
trying to
it was
find it.
clear just now, Christian. It was clear
Really?
just now.
Where
Yeah,
is it?
when you say oh
Oh,
no.
hello. It's okay. You can continue on, and then I'll try to find it later, or I can use one
Okay.
of my backup microphones later.
All right. So meanwhile, I'm going to go through our meetup. First thing you need to know is that Monday is a public holiday. God long live the king. It's his birthday. Actually, it's more like he's set up so that the birthday is consistent on that day, so that it doesn't mess with the holiday lah. So that's one of his decree, which is actually cool for HR and very considerate of him. So Monday is a public holiday. So enjoy your break, and for you that for people that yet have a chance to hack something or whatnot, well, you take the opportunity to learn LangChain and stuff so that you can build some language system. It's a hot thing. Well, it's a hot thing in part of my circle anyway, not my not all my circle. A bit expensive, still a bit expensive. You want to do things like feeding a whole parliamentary document into LangChain, for example. But it's let's say it's I would say it's interesting enough. Okay, it's from uh possible impossible to possible, but oh yeah. So in short, you got 3 day weekend. Enjoy yourself. Do whatever you need. Rest if you need to. Seriously, you don't have to hack like me. So that's one. Otherwise, next week is Ruby Tuesday. And if you go to Engineering Smart, there is another meetup for some of the members that actually come back to Malaysia for summer break before they go back. So yeah, so that's this happening, and let's go to the news. Multiple stuff happening, and I can't put it in all of the events today. All of the news. For example, last week, there's a whole Microsoft Dev event. I already talked about Microsoft Dev event, but they have some extra talk that you can find out. Then there is what's this? Computex, right, in Taiwan.
Mm.
Mostly consumer stuff. But they have some very cool technology. You can find out. You go to Linus Tech Tip for that. Uh, but the big one that is interesting for us, well, some of us is Nvidia. Uh, so
Not not really.
in the gamer
If you can,
community,
it's interesting if you can afford it.
yeah. So I need to bring up the voice. For some reason,
No, it's
pipe voice
fine.
doesn't
It's
work this
fine
time.
actually. No, it's fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't hear you without opening up
Oh,
my
okay.
volume.
Okay.
So Nvidia it's $1 trillion company now, and the reason is artificial intelligence.
Mm.
Interestingly, it's not the Bitcoin people that make them very rich. It's artificial intelligence, and it's something that they have been invested for a long time. They do not specifically invest in artificial intelligence, but it's just an opportunity because previously they do a lot of Could that useful for?
That's just say how much cryptocurrency can bring you. They did, I would say they did benefit from cryptocurrency, but that's only that much they can bring it to them.
Correct. So it just they put release an acceleration technology that happens to be useful for the scientific community, that happens to be adopted by the deep learning community, and yeah, they just they got they got their stuff. So they did throw money in to invest. They did in certain area and all that. Um, Not very cool for the open source community because they are not known to open source their drivers. They don't have to. Uh, and also more interestingly, as some of the gamer community, so to say, gamers so to say, they do not like that thing that Nvidia pretty much abandoned the gamer community now, which is fine because they have
Hmm,
they
did
bring
they?
some money from AI.
No,
Huh?
did they? I don't think so.
It's more like they perceive that okay. So because the recent release of the new GPU comes with low memory, low VRAM. There's not enough for gaming in practice.
But it's not
So
enough for AI as well.
no. The thing is, they have specialized. Uh, they sell specialized hardware for people that actually do
Yeah.
AI. But the consumer graphic cards have a very interesting resource. Yes, DISS is very awesome, but some new card comes with 8 GB for 4070. In the age where some game actually max out the whole 16 GB of VRAM in the previous generation, right? So the gamer community are not very happy, but you know what? Nvidia probably don't care, right?
No, but it's fine. It has open up for opportunity from others.
Correct. So that being said, let's move on to our actual news lah. I'm going to be selective about this because we have too many of AI stuff and all that. Let's start with this one. I should open a new tab. Give me a while. Da, 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 da. So one of the things from Microsoft Dev event is that they're going to put a lot of the so-called AI system into their core product. In this case, Windows, not just their Office product, also Windows. So you can actually use it for developers. It means that Windows alone can help you with the coding for reason, and you can use it to control your operating system. Use chat-like system to control theme of your OS, dark mode, and whatnot. Of course, you can also do search on Bing actually, and control application. So it's interesting that it is possible now. Uh, Not exactly new in terms of UI because Google Assistant have that, Siri have that, but these have a more accurate technology and now on Windows lah. Even Cortana have used to do that, but it's not good enough. So they just do a new thing called Copilot. Um,
They nailed
and
the
this way,
word right for Copilot.
huh? What?
I think they chose a very right word, which is called Copilot, where
Correct.
it's
One
not autonomous or anything. It's just something that assists you.
Correct. So in fact, one of the design principle. Actually, I read it from somewhere else. I lost article. Design principle for this system, uh, this system on Microsoft is that this thing should be an assistant, and for very good reason. Uh, the reason is the system is not accurate yet. So you want to use it for fact, they will give you the wrong information. This is a language model, not a logic model, and they do not necessarily, even with connection to the internet, they do not necessarily generate the right thing. So you have to point them to do the work. And I think that is a very conscious decision on their side, and it's something I can follow because you don't assume that it's 100% right. They give opportunity for you to think about the solution and whether it's correct or not. So they intentionally introduce friction when you use this system for you to work. So yeah, interesting. for other operating systems, I foresee people will try to adopt more of this thing on this level. So and let's see, lo. Anything to add? If not, I go move on. Uh, this one. These are using stable diffusion technology to actually do super resolution. So because it's just possible, lah. So by using this, they can use stable diffusion technology to actually do to improve the resolution of the system. It works in this case, but we need people to test it more, lah. Uh, Anything to add? If not, I will move on. So one thing I would want to say is, for now, this thing is expensive, but probably the next few years, will probably be in default in the system. So let's see how it goes, lah. So currently, the hardware is still expensive, but who knows, right? So I'm going to move on.
Are you able to hear me now?
Why the hell I
Yep.
missed this? Doesn't matter.
No.
Let me find out what's the thing, right? Oh, there's this Android app that go rogue. I think they just lost it. Lost the link. What happened is there's an Android app that now records voice and all that. We do not know the process. I do not know the process. It probably written in the article. It also partly malware and all that. So yeah, it kind of gave Android app a bad name. But let's go to the next one. That's more interesting. It's actually possible now for a person to actually brute force the fingerprint sensor on an Android phone. According to his Android phone, and they can do it within 45 minutes. So they test on certain phone and they use certain boards and also so they use a microcontroller. Of course, they use a microcontroller. Then they generate patterns. Then from there they just brute force it, and within it they say how many. Of course, they just say Android, and there's also an Android phone.
But I didn't know that this phone didn't rate limit it. Did they?
No, they're doing a bypass of the rate limiting for some reason. It's still rate limited, but they're bypassing some of it so that you can like multiply it by 3 the attempts before it backs off.
So yeah, what is so a bit scary for stolen device? Or this is one pattern that I noticed in Lawyer Plaza. In
What?
Lawyer
It's
Plaza,
not scary at all.
in Lawyer Plaza, when you ask them to set up your screen protector, they actually go to the other shop to set up your screen protector other place. It's actually pretty scary. So with this, I probably learned to set up my own screen protector, which I really horrible at.
But
The
this,
Lawyer
I
Plaza
think the
not
what they call
sophisticated.
this, the under screen fingerprint readers are more susceptible, right?
Yeah. Really?
I think
There's a
that's what
list
the
of it.
article said. Yeah, I'm not
So
sure.
yeah.
But if they're
Uh,
not installing the screen protector right in front of you, then that's questionable. Like, why do they have
Correct.
to move somewhere else? They can just install it somewhere.
The reason is on the shop what they do is because they don't have the stock with them actually. They never the stock with them.
Mm,
It's a
I don't know.
Lawyer
There
Plaza is
are.
actually a network of supplier doing stuff.
I don't know how
Mm,
often you buy phone physically these days.
Huh?
I don't know.
How often you
What do
buy
you mean?
phone physically these days?
I don't know, man, because my screen keep cracking all the time.
Mm. Maybe another way to that this happens is when you want to send your phone for repairs, and
Yep.
because for example, like you can't access it anymore, right? And you happen to have a fingerprint, like let's say, um, yeah, you can't turn it on, and then you have fingerprint authentication, and then they can repair it. Then maybe they can bypass fingerprint authentication and then steal all of your pictures, your nudes, and your selfies.
Oh no.
It's more of seeing the number of money in my account, and that's a silly part. That's about it, really.
Don't have to worry if you don't have money.
Yeah.
Mm.
I can solve it for you. See?
Or I just throw money at toys and use up all my money. I'm going to move on. They do have mitigation and all that. Are very interesting attack. So I'm going to move on. This one is actually infinite board. What this does is you can actually generate image and you can extend it as you need to. So it's a stable diffusion application for you to draw your application. Nothing special, but it's just that. Uh, I'm going to move on quickly because this is a bit boring. Da, da. This one is another AI assistant, but this one had a focus of generating cookie. It's a cookie cutter like application, right? With more stuff, so it's a bit more rigid. So it's not really assistant co-pilot style per se, but this is more like generating generating boilerplate. So that's what they claim. Yeah, just another approach to do that. I'm going on. What one thing they did do, and one thing I noticed that Copilot doesn't do it. Copilot can generate code, but they do not actually automatically import your dependency, for example. And they do not actually help you set up your directory structure and all that. So this is another thing that this claim to do lah. That can generate the whole directory structure and all that. So you can generate file, create directory and stuff. So in a way, this one it have a bit more extra stuff for this language model assistant. Anything to add? If not, I will move on.
No, no.
This one more of somewhat a Chilean area, but it's also one of my favorite thing. Uh, okay, this is not a pure. One thing you need to know: this is not a pure web application, front application. So this thing use Neo4j, and so what this does is they actually represent route as a network, so to say,
Mm-hmm.
and you can build. Once you do that, you can actually use it to build a graph and therefore a routing application, meaning you can build a navigation app and all that. So this is cool because one, they use OpenStreetMap, open data, Neo4j, not quite open source, but a well-known technology, and Leaflet is to display lah. So by using Neo4j as a backend, you can actually build a routing network, a routing system for you to route your cars and all that. Because shortest distance algorithm are traditionally represented as a network, and you do network by actually doing some adjacency map and all that. It's very classical. So Neo4j is one of those things lah. So, but of course, this is interesting in a way that there is caveat because your road is not just coordinate. It will be taking too much point. It will be stupid. What you do is you have to worry about things like intersections, intersection, all that. So
That's why
yeah,
those are the
okay.
some of the required information for routing.
Mm-hmm.
Direction, the heading, where you're heading. It's the
Correct,
bearing, I think, but in navigation it's called heading.
correct,
So where you're heading, which direction you're from. Even
correct,
sometimes you can notice if you notice Google Maps and Waze, sometimes they're trying to adjust that. So
correct. This kind of thing you need to adjust on the fly and all that, which is why this is not
it's
quite a solve
natural.
problem. It's good enough. There's a good enough solution in a way that driver know what to do.
Mm.
It's not quite a solved problem in a way that you can automatically reroute things as easily. You can up to a level, I suppose, but there's a reason why your Grab tend to go on a very weird route sometimes, and it's not necessarily faster.
It's might be the fastest based on the algorithm at that
Correct.
time. So, but it's not might not be the most efficient one, but it might be 1 or 2 seconds faster, but it'll cause the suggestion engine to give you the very weird and might not ended up being the fastest.
Yeah, but either way, this is a very cool. This is a very cool demo, and I like it.
One of the things that covered that issue is that did you watch the latest video about micro mouse?
Oh yeah, micro mouse. Yeah, they use a polyfill system.
No, it's that one of the winner is that it's of course it's not the shortest route, but the winner one of the contests is that the winner won because he
They do
chose
not
the
take the
most
most
efficient route, not the
Yeah.
shortest route.
Correct.
That
Because
also.
turning takes time, so the less turn, the faster.
Mm.
So yeah, we should show the micro mouse thing later, but it's a whole 30-minute video. I should link it later. It's actually very cool the way they do stuff. I'm going to move on. Very cool thing. This one. So this is actually a whole set of tutorial on how do you build a DNS query. Did I share this before?
Could be.
Huh?
Could be. Can you hear me?
Yes, but
You
for
can
some
hear me,
reason,
right? Yeah.
For some reason, the sound on my speaker sucks. It looks like you because I can listen to YouTube just fine.
I don't know.
So either way, this one I show you how do you actually encode some data and all that.
And unrelated news is that there's a DNSSEC snafu this week.
Yeah, that
Last
one.
Yeah.
Correct, but this one doesn't deal with DNSSEC. This is just basic DNS. It is about it. So, you want to know how DNS works, you should look at this. It's pretty legit.
It's not.
It's pretty Huh?
No, it's not one-to-one. DNS is not one-to-one.
Correct. So yeah. So okay, I'm going to move on. Da-da-da. This one, 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 and this one. You know what? I'm going to cover everything because it's not many a lot. One of the exercise that some of the more advanced programmers do
Why
is
is
how.
Ada Lovelace there?
What?
Why Ada Lovelace over there?
I don't know. She's a computing icon, so maybe just that. But this book is about telling how you can implement leaves, and it's actually one of those advanced exercises that people like to do because you can literally implement it in any language. The reason is because leaves had a mathematical foundation, so you can actually implement it, and more importantly, the language itself is the parse. So because of the parentheses, so
it follows S expressions.
Correct.
So when you implement that, then leaves is pretty easy to implement.
Correct.
And it follows a sort of pretty purish kind of lambda as calculus as well.
Lambda calculus. So yeah. One of the exercises the book exists. I just want to share that. I'm gonna move on. This one. Da-da-da. So this is what we mean that you need to be careful about the adoption of ChatGPT because these guys cross the line in a way that they use ChatGPT without verification and all that. As a result, they actually quote some fake cases that doesn't exist in an actual court proceeding, and the judge actually give a warning lah. So, in short, please verify the output from. Please verify the output from ChatGPT. So, for example, here's a few things. That generate supporting argument, then they hallucinate wildly, then they provide. Then when the lawyer asks to provide the copy of cases, they ask ChatGPT for help to then they invented those cases. Then they realize that the case doesn't exist, so they still document. As a result, so the judge orders the citation, So the judge is not happy. It's first time this happened, but the judge is not happy. And yep. So they have consequence to the case law. Yep. Just be careful about ChatGPT when you output stuff, please.
It's
They're not necessarily correct all the time.
it's a
Anything you want to add?
co-pilot.
Huh?
It depends how you the accuracy depends how you prompt as well.
Correct. So in this case, what the lawyer should do is that do not use it on live. They can give wrong result, and
Mm.
they should verify it all the time. It's really just that.
No, but
Because
that's the point why you have something like LexisNexis or all of these case search tools, right? Especially for lawyers. But well, for cases, it's easy because you have these kinds of databases
correct,
for all of jurisprudence, right? I think what
correct,
is going to happen is because this is another version of fake news where you have an authority figure trying to
yeah,
say this is the truth, whereas you just accept whatever this authority figure is saying as the truth without verification. That is the issue. And I think with more cases like this, um, it becomes more and more important that we are able to verify ourselves whether the information is true or not. Not just Chat GPT, but anything you hear as well on social
correct.
media, on the news, or people that your friends telling you certain things,
Mm.
is to make sure that you also verify.
Yes.
It takes
I
effort and
verify
hard
what
work, but
streaming says.
it's the thing. Yeah.
But in this case, because if you are in a legal proceeding, it's very common that when such LexisNexis is actual cases, you can use that and you can provide the copy. Those exist, right?
Hmm.
But in ChatGPT, they overestimate it, I suppose, right? So
Well,
No, if you
it's a
ask,
blindly trusting it.
I think
Yeah,
if
that's
you
the problem.
ask the thing is that if you ask it to provide an answer, you try it best to give you the
correct.
answer.
They did try that, but they just keep generating more stuff because they do not have access to the same
Because
database.
generally people doesn't like negative results.
Yeah. And also, I don't think ChatGPT have access to court cases because those things are not fully open all the time. So that's why AI is not quite good
Which
at the
is
moment.
interesting, right? Like court cases are public property. They make up the rules of the land. That's jurisprudence. But it's interesting
Correct.
that searching, like what should be public property is gated. Well, this is U.S., so I mean it's always strange for the U.S. But
In Malaysia,
it would
it's the
have been.
same also.
Yeah, but it would be, well, an extra service for, like, for convenience is like something
Correct.
that an aspiring entrepreneur can do. But there should
Correct.
be at least like a, I don't know, like an API or like some kind of text database, even like searchable. Well, not necessarily searchable, but maybe like images of court cases from like the 1900s, let's say, that people can access, just
Um,
because this is public property, that
Correct.
it should be available.
Uh, so, so in this country, Malaysia, which I'm familiar with, the short answer is because they serve interest. Because and the reason for that is, for a long time, the printing and collection of these documents outsourced, no, are given to the national publication. It's nationalized publication company which publish this
Hmm.
thing as booklet. As a result, due to agreement, they have the copyright. Uh, for a reason that I don't understand. The reason is at that time the only thing that exist for them probably is copyright instead of public domain, so they opt to use copyright to control it, so to say. But during privatization, this company do turn into a private entity, and they hold exclusive rights. So they have a whole interest of holding the right as much as possible, and therefore making it harder to make this information public. And the whole thing is really is less of a the whole thing is less of a record and need. It's more of a interest, right? And once you come to people problem, everything is hard.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
hopefully the because of the changing climate, right? Like now information is more important. And I've seen a lot of like work as well, like open APIs, like making sure uh, data is accessible by the citizens. Then hopefully these things are also changing. I mean, there's a lot of
Mm.
momentum, and so change will be slow, but change might be coming
correct.
sooner or
Change will
later.
come. Hopefully will come, but it just take time because
Hmm.
it's not openness is not a priority in some places, etc. There is a lot there. In the end, it's a people issue, not a technical issue, so to say. There is
But I
cause
guess,
to
yeah,
that.
it is a people issue because people also don't know what to do with them, right? Like, okay, you
It's
have
more
this,
like
but
interest that it's more like one people don't think it's an important issue, and second people don't take, and some people don't want to let go of this resource.
It's okay. We just move on.
mm,
Correct. So
Focus on
going
people
this
that
one,
do it.
this is one of those. Okay, I don't like some of these because they overestimate agent system, but if they can interpret text and do stuff, maybe. And in this case, if they understand text and do stuff, maybe. I don't know yet. But I have this story, somewhat relevant, right? Yes, this chat language model don't have logic. They're not as good and all that. But uh, I'm going to go to all the way in 1960s. Now Bell Labs. Bell Labs actually created all the technology necessary to make a microchip, and they do have all the necessary equipment to make a microchip. So the problem is Bell Labs and they make components for telephone for very big companies, so they have a standard to keep. They have certain standards that they need to hold. So at that time, at that moment, the yield of microchip, semiconductor transistor on their size is not good at all, and the equipment is very expensive, right? So they
mhm.
just deem that it's not worth to invest the creation of microchip. But Robert Noyce, he actually created in Fairchild, I believe, created the first microchip despite these things. So the bet him and a few people that also create microchip at the same time is yes, technology will is expensive and the yield is not good, but this thing only get better and cheaper over time because technology will be improved. Therefore, do it. So as a result, uh, Robert Noyce ends up very successful, got the Nobel Prize, start Intel, make a lot of money, etc. Right? So this is actually one of those cases for chat model. I do not believe this thing actually understand logic and all that. But if they can interpret text to do stuff, then maybe it's useful and it's a
It
start.
adds in it adds in passing and stuff so that you can associate with the function with
Correct.
it.
So if they do it properly and some hack, it can work. It's a good start. I think it's worth visualize. I think it's worth doing. Probably and maybe start learning do some interesting stuff with it. I do not. I wanted to not let some of this community is they want to use this to make quick money. I don't believe in this, but
To make what? Sorry,
quick money, as
quick
in
money, like how?
But
I don't know. It's
swimming, there's already a lot of quick money being made from vaporware. So I would
so
say
a
anything
lot of
that
these
came
people,
out.
it's the same. These a lot of these people are the same demographic of people that in the crypto scene, right? They have
Mhm.
this kind of smell from me, right? It's just me, like it's just a me thing, but
Mm.
they actually promise a lot of big thing for technology that is not as proven. But that being said, I think it's
But
still
you've
worth
always
doing.
had snake oil salesmen everywhere.
Um,
As if there's new
they'll die
things,
down.
because this is
But in this
again
case,
information asymmetry, right? The people selling to don't
yeah,
know the technology that much. That's why you can take advantage of them. Like,
yes,
if can you sell people like miracle water cure? I don't think people will buy that now because
yeah,
people understand
Come
water
on,
well. I mean, there will
we
be
we had
people who will.
we had Theranos, we had Juicero.
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Well, there are still going to be people who
Yeah,
are gullible, but now that there's less information about this, even more people will be gullible.
But so either way, so this kind of tools is interesting because they can do some of these things, but I do not believe it can do all these things. I think you should adopt it because it's a start, but I don't think it's it's ready yet, but you should try it anyway.
It's okay.
Right.
Nothing is
So,
ever ready
yeah,
until it's totally ready. This is the
correct.
thing about innovation in the IT sector.
Yes.
It's
So if
either
you just
not
take it
ready
and try it,
or ready, and then everyone fight to catch up.
correct. So either way, multiple people are actually using the large language models to build this agent system. Again, I doubt they really can do all that thing, but if they can generate code, probably it will work. So that's it, lah. I'm going to move on. This one is interesting because this one is actually allows you to build a virtual switch. Uh, so a switch is not a router in a way that because switch actually works on level 2 layer. You actually works to on the Mac layer. So so this allows you to build it on build a software that can simulate that and connect to network. But I do not know how this will work in the computer in physically, but as a software I can see how it can useful. So this one that actually shows you how you can run this, right? In the world, and they show you how the code work.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep. Anything to add? If not, I'm going to move on.
No.
Oh, this is short. This is actually very short. Interesting.
Very short.
Yeah, this is actually very short. They
It's-
just pass the Ethernet frame, then they add to the
But
Mac table.
Oh,
Chilion
and
can write.
meanwhile, since I saw Python code, is that the first, I think this year, the first Python obfuscation contest is going on.
Right.
Mm, yeah. No,
So
I was saying Chilion can write a load balancer in like 5 minutes, right? What was
yeah,
your in go in 5 minutes? I
yeah, I
think
think
that
I
was
can work
your
on this Go because it's just
claim to
standard
fame.
packet manipulation.
Given that the whole the stack underneath is done for me.
Mm,
Correct. What I do not know is how do you connect this to the physical world. So yeah, interesting. All right, I'm going to move on. Chile actually recently actually did transcription of DevKami. Maybe we share this later. So this one is a set of code that actually connect microphone. This claims to only work for Windows for now. And what this does is they actually connect to OpenAI they use OpenAI to actually generate the transcription. I do not know how these work fully yet, other than the fact they have OpenAI and component. Uh, yeah. Anything to add? If not, I will move on.
No.
no.
Do you have a code and stuff? How do you do it for our stuff, Julia?
It just run Whisper. Just open API Whisper.
Yeah, just upload the audio, right? If you can record audio,
Yeah.
then
To
just upload
record.
the audio.
I use PyDuck to convert it to wave,
Yep.
and then just run but I use the abstracted library called speech recognition, which
Yep.
support a few libraries.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Is that, but the model is actually Open API Whisper. It's different from the Open API Whisper API, which requires the Open API subscription. So, and I'm using the large model, of which is really slow, but mainly the thing that I play with it is to test the capability of the Mac Mini, M1 Mac Mini. As the M1 RAM, you don't need to find a GPU for that size of a VRAM if we can leverage the RAM of a M1 computer. But unfortunately, there are some PyTorch code being written that cannot support it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Like the PyAnnotate doesn't, some of the models they don't run on the M1.
Right. Okay. Cool. So nowadays we should, another reason why a lot of this AI tool is very awesome now. So I'm going to try it one day, but let's see how it goes. I do have Windows machine for this to try out. So I'm going to move on. This one. So what this does is, I do not know what the physical thing is, but what this does is based on location and text and location, they actually can then they actually feed it to a generative AI model. In this case, in this case, uh, I don't know what they use actually. Was it Stable Diffusion? So either way, this will actually, based on location, based on seat, they will actually generate image. So in a way, this person is taking photos without using a lens. Uh, what I do not know is what model.
The Windows Stable Diffusion allows you to reverse the query right from a picture.
Correct. So yeah, it's generative lah. So it's taking photo in a way lah. Interesting art project. I do not know how practical it is.
It's so fun, but often this is what doing fun stuff you get you is that sometimes we might innovate by doing the fun stuff.
Correct. So and also I think one thing that this will be interesting is for me to plan out a shot, whether certain place is interesting for photo session and all that. So yeah, this might be a worthy project to do, but let's see whether it loads. Yeah, it's under heavy traffic, so it may not work. So I'm going to move on to the next one. This one. So this is the first 100 terabyte GPU memory system. This device is not meant for us. This is a data center level hardware. So this is
It costs more than your house.
correct. So this is unless you are OpenAI level organization, but which they actually partner with Microsoft, or you provide a data center that actually need GPU. Otherwise, this is not for you. You won't have enough kidney to sell to get this. Okay. But yeah, interesting because this is level and this is very similar. The architecture is very similar to M1 actually, because they use a they use a shared memory model and all that. And this one they also use ARM CPU and GPU then shared with interconnect to make communication fast. So of course, unlike the Mac device, this is not a consumer device. This is for you to put in a data center, and or maybe if you want to do a supercomputer. So yeah, and that's about it really. Okay. Oh, they actually use this. So this is what I mean, lah. So because this thing actually, try to get location from you, you can actually uh, see what photo you can take. So maybe get some inspiration from it. I'm good. We're done. So anything interesting from you guys?
Not much on that. But it's just that I need to catch up on some of the AI stuff.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, well,
hard to
speaking of AI, so my company is asking us to catch up on AI stuff. So they are giving us an AI budget that we can
Okay,
claim.
so there's a difference between doing language stuff or doing vision stuff. And chances is, I think your company is asking you to do the language stuff.
We are both actually.
I know Chilang have both for reasons.
That's why
Personally,
even stable
Internet.
diffusion feature of
What's up?
given a picture, give
Can't
us a
hear
text
anything
also
anymore.
very
What's
useful.
happening?
okay, I lost you, man. I lost you. No, I hear Chilang, I can't hear Tristan.
Okay. Excuse me for a bit.
Oh well. So on the other hand, I'm keep reading on this book, Dealers of Lightning. It have a very interesting history about the Palo Alto Research Center. So it's also very interesting. It's a very different book than say than Dealers of Lightning. That one is sorry. Idea Factory, there is the Bell Lab. There is actually a whole lesson on how to run a research organization. Is a whole set of drama. So, for example, the first chapter is about like the boss bought a wrong computer company. Then, now they are allowed to open a computer lab for Xerox. Xerox do not know how to do computing, so yet they want to go into the computer business. Then the whole lab is run by rebels, which is a very different culture and all that. And when they bought, when at that time, for example, they need a computer research center need a computer, right? So as a result, they get a PDB-10, but their own SDS, Xerox owns SDS, which is a competitor for PDP, right? Yeah, the creator PDP. So they are not allowed to buy competitor product. So they
Mm.
build their own computer, etc. So it's a whole drama. This book is mostly about drama, really.
Is it fictional history
No, no,
or documentary?
it's real story, but it's written in a dramatic style
Mm.
because they do not show that they show that how the lab work as a rebel. So, for example, the creation of laser printer.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that is from Park that is actually relevant to Xerox uh, shows the whole culture thing, but the author can write it in a way to talk about difference between culture because the creator of laser printer was actually from the other laboratory owned by Xerox, but the other laboratory they do not believe in laser technology in printing,
Mm.
so they have the uh, creator to do something boring. He almost quit until he managed to convince his boss to send him to Palo Alto. Then from there, the lab actually encouraged him to go crazy over things. And as a result, he managed to do what he wanted to do with laser technology and create a laser printer, right? So
Mm-hmm.
he write it that he moved to the lab, then things happen with all the extra budget and all that, and the whole rebel Leo's vibe and all that. So it's more dramatic as a story about the lab for now,
Mm-hmm.
but it have relevance, right? Because uh, underneath everything, Palo Alto Research Center is the true birthplace of personal computing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I would say true, but okay, close in a way that they bring all the modern thing out to the world because at the same time, DOS based compute around the same time, a bit later in the future, uh, people independently use the Intel 8088 to actually create their own personal computer, but it's not the same level at all. Those are DOS technology, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's very different, but you know, I didn't finish it, but I'm very close. It's half one third of the way already. Uh, I'm going to write a book review about this soon. To be honest, one of
Yeah.
these
Go
days,
ahead. That would be nice.
because all these are very good story lah. So, how's your project going?
Yeah. So I have all of my tools delivered. So I have the Sonoff, which is the Wi-Fi. What do you call this?
All the
Socket,
Wi-Fi.
right? Yeah. So I'm actually using it for a few devices already, but I just wanted to get another one specifically for this because I wanted to document like the whole thing, take pictures, get some videos, so that I can do like a good I don't know tutorial or introduction. I've gotten my DS118B20. So this is a
Mm-hmm.
one wire thermocouple
Thermometer, yeah.
that it's one wire, so it should be calibrated already, but I'll have to check. I just thinned the wires, but I'm still figuring out how to connect this to the microcontrollers. And I got this one I've already tested. This doesn't come with a USB. This was because I have a lot of USB. Um, what do you call this? Ends,
Mm,
male A plugs. So I just put it here. It's actually a how do you call it? Water pump.
yeah.
So that you just put this in. It's water resistant, and then it should move the water around so that the temperature is
Does
um,
it even provide
consistent.
enough power for the pump?
You have to. That's why it's a USB, right? So I mean USB A. It's
Yeah,
5 volts.
no.
I
Does
measured.
USB provide enough?
Yes, I measured. It's only 700 milliamps when this one
Ah,
is running underwater.
okay.
So and one so yeah, sorry, 700 milliamps when running underwater. It's a lot less when it's not running underwater because there's no resistance. So it's
Okay.
because it's a motor, right? So the more resistance there is, then it needs to work harder. It consumes more power. The biggest one here is this one. So this is the is it yeah, it's upside down. It's the Pi Maker Pi Pico. This is great for prototyping because of the Grove ports. You have an ESP01S here. This one is the baseboard, and then because I already have my what they call this, my Pi Pico, and
Mm-hmm.
um, what I'm planning is I'll do the prototyping here. It's just
Mm-hmm.
easier, just plug in all of these things, and then later on I transfer the same Pi Pico into a custom proto board with like
Mm-hmm.
custom uh, plugging in into a custom pins. The thing is because the Pi Pico only has one 3 volt 3.3 volt pin, so I need like a power bus bar or something. It has a lot of ground pins, but I need more 3 volts power pins, and so I'll have to figure out how to extend the bus. And I think I will go for a um, 4.5 volt input, so triple uh, three double A batteries. I think I have what they call this. I have some battery holders, but I'll have to check. So,
Mm-hmm.
but this one, so this is already running MicroPython. You'll see I have an SSD. What is this?
Mm-hmm.
1306 is the usual OLED display with connected to a what do you call this? A
Computer
rotary
encoder.
encoder. It's
Mm-hmm.
I'm using Circuit Python. It's quite straightforward. I don't
Mm-hmm.
do a lot of Python, but it was simple to like just copy the instructions, modify it as I needed. So this is like
Yeah.
setting the temperature. I still haven't programmed it, but you can see here when I click the rotary encoder button. Where is it? Yeah. So the one of the LEDs is blinking when I click it. It's because I'm already like looking at the what they call this uh, the button. I'm already capturing the information there and then having it read. So yeah, I'm still on the prototyping phase, getting I want to interface with the ESP01. I need to burn Tasmota on the Wi-Fi. I need to prototype and test out the one wire, the DS18B20, so just to find out where things are. So that's probably this weekend, and the actual build probably starts like next weekend. It's still 1 month from now, the whole thing, and so it's just like
Mm-hmm.
first I need to test whether things are working together, and then I can
Yeah.
find out like okay, now things are working together. I can start actually making something. So the actual control PID controller. So first save all of the variables, and then like see if I can switch on or off the Sonoff remotely through Wi-Fi, and what are the
Mm-hmm.
problems. See how like how distance is. It's not going to be far from the Sonoff because like you need to be able to be close to the hotpot, right? Because you have the thermometer, you need to read
Correct. Correct.
the temperature from there. So let's see. We'll see what happens there.
But the Sonoff, does it? How does it work? It's Sonoff have their own Wi-Fi connection thing.
Now, so that's why
What's
I'm
the
going
difference
to
like?
burn Tasmota on it. Tasmota is a custom firmware for ESP8266,
Uh huh.
specifically for smart devices. So
Right.
Tasmota like connects to your Wi-Fi. You have your SSID and your password,
Mm-hmm.
and then it presents a web page if you go to that IP address of the Sonoff. And what you can do is most likely what I can do is I can just do a GET request on that IP, and then you can like turn on or off or like toggle like the relay on the son off. So think of the son off as a Wi-Fi controlled relay. So we don't need any of the smart functions like with the like timers or all of these things. That's why we're gonna be just killing the firmware that's in there now, and then I'm just going to burn my own uh, like a generic Tasmota firmware.
So it will be something like just a simple API thing.
Yeah, it just
Right.
exposes an endpoint that
Okay.
turns that either turns the son off on, off, or toggles between on or
Right.
off. And so that's all I need for a relay. I need it to turn on or to turn off because that's where the PID control comes in. Depending on the feedback from the thermocouple, I either turn the power on or off. So the point, so the important thing as well here is you don't want a smart hotpot because
Yeah.
you want when you switch it on, it has to be continuously on. So you want to switch the relay instead of the like whatever electronics there's because I have this like for example, you can't use a smart rice cooker because like with the electronic timer and etc. because it's once you turn it off, it loses the memory or something, right? It starts off as off and
Mhm.
you can't do any control there. So yeah, hotpot or like you can try with a kettle, but that probably is going to be heating up too fast. And so that's why I have a particular hot pot that has um, a lesser power requirement. So I measure the wattage of the kettle. It's about like 2 kilowatts for the kettle, but this hot pot I have has two settings, 800 watts and 400 watts. So
Right.
for sous vide, you want it like less, like you want it to maintain a particular heat because you don't want to turn on and off the relay so much. Otherwise, you'll
Correct. Correct.
just like spoil your relay. So
Yeah.
a lower wattage hot pot is better. So a dumb hot pot, and then you create your own brains or something like that. Yeah, I'm looking for
That's.
a box because I want to put everything into like a small
Mhm.
project box that's self-contained and probably with a switch. And I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm thinking of doing it either as double A batteries
Mhm.
or with a lithium ion that's rechargeable. But I'll have to figure it out. I'll have to think about it.
Yeah. Lithium ion only sounds good on theory. It kind of lose if you're not careful. Lose
What do
charges
you
and all
mean?
that.
Well, yeah, you lose. Well, I just need it for like to be on for like a few hours, and so
Right.
I
Right.
don't need it to be like. And then there's of course a charging circuit, right? Like you can put a charging circuit there. So I just need something like that. It's just convenient because you can recharge things. Double A's, that means I can't do a self-contained box. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
double
Yeah.
A's need to be outside, otherwise it's going to
Correct.
be a problem. So that's the only thing with
Correct.
the double A's. But let's see.
Correct.
I think I have triples, but I forgot. Is it? Oh wait, this is the box. Wait, let's see. I think I have here. So I have a box of these. Oh no, these are for lithium ions. Where are my double A's? Oh wait, I
There's
have
a
four. Hmm. Sorry, what were you saying?
uh
I only have two. Two. I mean, it's good for 3 volts, but it's
for
the thing
heating
is, it's
element
going
is
to
good to make sure the
no,
thermal
no,
runoff is there as well.
no.
Like
For
if
the
the
I'm not doing a heating element. I'm doing the hot pot. I that the complicated ones I'm not doing at all.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I'm
Complicated.
doing a son off. Just let the hot pot figure it out, and I'm just going to turn it on or off. So maybe something like this, uh,
Mhm.
but this is only two. So we'll see. This is a double A, right? No, this is a triple A. Why do I have triple A's? I don't know.
Oh, I know you had a lot
Okay,
of
anyway,
battery box and all that.
yeah.
So with that said, I think we should begin. By the way, on the clock, uh, give me da da da.
Yeah, just
Swimming.com
650.
exists. I'm not selling
Mm.
stuff.
There's chilean.com, but don't go there. It's not my website.
Yeah. Oh, they can't share my screen. Oh my goodness, why? So this
You're
exists.
already sharing your screen. Yeah.
But so just so you know, this exists. I'm not selling stuff. And don't hire me.
Oh, wow.
So it's just there so that nobody can use my name. And unfortunately, I can't buy swimming.com. So that's all. Okay, so next week, hopefully, we can see more progress from Tristan's project.
Yeah, I
And
found the large one and the large lithium ion. So I think
yeah,
I'm going to use this.
yeah,
So this one fits.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. And then I'll just put a charging circuit probably.
Yep.
Okay, I like this one better than the flat ones.
Yep. Hmm.
But this one has no protection though, so that's the thing. We'll see.
Yep. Okay, so it's 11. So this weekend will be a long one. Enjoy yourself. Do whatever you need to do to, I don't know, do whatever you want me to do to relax or whatever, right? Build a project if you
Or
want,
work.
get sick if you want, work hard.
Or work.
But so with that said, enjoy your holiday and we can end for now. So shall we say goodbye and all that?
Yep.
Okay,
Bye.
All right,
bye.
see you
See you
around.
next week.
Yep, bye. Ta-da.